The Chernobyl disaster, which occurred on April 26, 1986, stands as one of the most catastrophic nuclear accidents in history. It happened at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat in northern Ukraine, which was then part of the Soviet Union. The incident is infamous not only for the immediate devastation it caused, but also for the long-term environmental and health impacts that continue to be felt today. On that fateful day, during a late-night safety test simulating a power outage, reactor number 4 of the Chernobyl plant exploded. This explosion released a significant amount of radioactive materials into the atmosphere, more than 400 times the radiation of the Hiroshima bomb. The immediate explosion killed 2 plant workers, but the worst was yet to come. Initially, there was a delay in recognizing the severity of the disaster. Firefighters, many unaware of the lethal radiation they were being exposed to, rushed to the scene to extinguish the fires caused by the explosion. These brave men, along with other first responders, were among the first victims, succumbing to acute radiation sickness in the days and weeks following the incident. The nearby city of Pripyat, home to plant workers and their families, was not evacuated until 36 hours after the explosion. By this time, the residents had been exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. Eventually, a 30-kilometer exclusion zone was established, and over 100,000 people were evacuated from the surrounding areas. The release of radioactive materials, particularly iodine-131, cesium-137, and strontium-90, had devastating long-term health effects. Thyroid cancer cases, especially among children who were exposed to the radioactive iodine, surged in the affected regions. Estimates suggest that the disaster may ultimately result in thousands of premature deaths due to cancer and other radiation-induced illnesses. The environment around Chernobyl was severely impacted. The explosion and subsequent fallout contaminated large swathes of land, rendering it uninhabitable. The Red Forest, named for the color the trees turned after absorbing high levels of radiation, is one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Wildlife in the area experienced mutations and population declines, though some species have shown remarkable resilience and have adapted to the high radiation levels over time. Beyond the physical health impacts, the disaster also had profound psychological and social effects. The displacement of communities, loss of homes, and the lingering fear of radiation created a pervasive sense of trauma and uncertainty among the affected populations. The secrecy and misinformation surrounding the disaster, initially downplayed by Soviet authorities, further exacerbated the psychological toll. The Chernobyl disaster highlighted critical flaws in nuclear safety protocols and the importance of transparency and timely information dissemination in crisis situations. It prompted significant changes in nuclear policy and reactor design to prevent future catastrophes. However, the legacy of Chernobyl endures. The sarcophagus constructed to encase reactor number 4, and the new safe confinement structure erected decades later, serve as stark reminders of the disaster's enduring presence. The Chernobyl incident is a somber testament to the potential dangers of nuclear energy when safety measures are inadequate and transparency is compromised. The horrors connected to it, immediate loss of life, long-term health impacts, environmental destruction, and profound psychological trauma, serve as a powerful reminder of the need for rigorous